Alright, pointing out the obvious, get in the light, but there is something missing here. Something missing just up here. And there's something missing from our website, because since the success of the Dash catback exhaust system, so many people have been asking us just for the midsection exhaust. So we ummed and ahed for quite some time, because I love the full Dash catback. It is my favourite, without a doubt. Whether we'd even release a midsection only, and it wasn't until we fitted it up playing around on a car that we realised actually there's some merit in this. This thing is really good. So we're going to do it again, but as an install. So we're going to put the midsection on now, do all the usual stuff, revving the guts out of it and show them what it is. But this really is a product for that space where people didn't want the outlandish sort of noise coming from their exhaust. They were only looking for sort of like a 3 to 5 out of 10. They didn't want any drone. They do a lot of towing. You know, they might have been thinking about the full pacemaker system, as in catback with 2 mufflers, or they might have been thinking about the tourniquet, or even comparing to a Harrop midsection. So that's the kind of person that might want this. But there's one big difference that the Dash exhaust has got that none of the others do. I'll show you. Or really, I should say 2 parts, and this is the same for the full Dash system. So, one, this part here goes past the 4-wheel drive actuator. We ceramic coat that section. No other exhaust manufacturer does this out of the box. Next, we've got our parallel tubes both going into the muffler, opposed to a Y section here. That actually makes a big deal, because you've got exhaust gases coming down here and here, and of course this one has to travel further. So if you go to a Y pipe, then that can, I don't know, you've got to work out how to muffle that to get it right. But if it goes into the muffler in parallel and leaves parallel, you lose all of that sort of thong slappiness. So this is why I love this exhaust. Astute people that watched the previous video we did on the Dash exhaust, you might notice some differences on this one, and it followed through to the full catback. But everything now is measuring 3 inches, every part. Whereas in version 1, there were some very slight restrictions. That's all been ironed out with evolution of products. When you have a look at the comparison though, like, this is why we need to free up the exhaust. What's that? Just over 2 inches. We're getting 3 inches at that point, that'll be 3 inches too. But like down here, it looks like I welded that far out. Come on, listen. That's like under 2 inches. Anyway, this is going in the scrap metal bin, and this is going on. We'll show you how it's done. Alright, what do we got here? Up there is the standard headers with the primary cat. So that's connected to the factory headers. Then we go through and we've got the secondary cats, and this is where the exhaust starts. Basically, undo the bolts, take the factory pipe off. You probably have to lever this down just a fraction to get it all to slip in, and then mount up the first pipe, the flexible join on the passenger side bank, and then it's as easy as, you don't need to use the hanger that was here by the way, it's as easy as fitting up this centerpiece to the factory tailpiece. So like, really, job's done in an hour. Bit of a tip for people playing at home, get a bit of this stuff, just squirt it into the rubbers. That makes it so much easier for putting the hangers on. Other than that, this is really simple. It definitely could do at home kind of deal. Alright, we're on. So yeah, this is the Nissan like factory rear muffler that stays in situ, coming through, and then ends basically here. So the Nissan bit is that way, dash part is coming this way, and it's all up looking good. There is gaskets that we provide to go on here and here with a bit of silicone. We actually reuse, like we provide a gasket here, but we reuse the metal one. The metal one actually works better off the back of the cat, so that's my suggestion there. But it's time to start her up and see what it sounds like. Dash off-road, midsection, cold start. First drive, I'm sitting in the passenger seat this time. We've got the windows down. It's not offensive by any means at all. You can hear it. So we just did a bit of a drive in the low to mid rev range. So, you know, probably accelerated to about 3,500 RPMs. Sounds good. Right, I'm going to put the windows up and do a comparison. Bit of a rumble. What we're listening for, I guess, is, you know, is it going to drone and that sort of stuff. Yep, sounds alright. I would say that it is ever so slightly louder than the pacemaker, but nowhere near as loud as the dash, like, full catback system. And there's the difference. It's the higher rev range stuff. So with the dash full catback, as it gets up to that 5,000–6,000 RPM, like, it sings and it gets louder. This one rumbles from, you know, 1,000 up to 3,000 RPM and doesn't really get much louder after that. It just sits that one level. I like it. Dash midsection, 0 to 100. Alright, so the next test really is the towing test. So we're going to see if it's gone in drone. This particular car that we're in doesn't have a brake controller, so we've gone and found a 2-ton trailer that's got hydraulic brakes on it. Well, it's just under 2 ton, I think, and put as many springs and coils in the back of the trailer as we can. See it down the back there. And we're going to just go for a drive around the streets. We're going to go out to a 100k zone and just get a bit of an idea of how the exhaust is in that respect. While I'm talking here though, exhaust, the amount of time someone rings me up and says, David, you've tried all the exhausts, which one's the best? And the thing is, like, the best one is different for different people. Some people want like that outlandish loud exhaust that, you know, when you drive past a bunch of 18-year-olds, they're all going to turn their head. Other people want the exact opposite. They want to know that it's a V8 because that gigantic muffler Nissan puts on it just silences the car. So you want to know it's a V8, but just get some sort of burble without being drony or you know, annoying the wife in the passenger seat. So if you ask me which one's the best, well, I'm going to tell you the one I put my name on because that's the one I like the most. But there is absolutely a reason to have Pacemaker, Manta, Torque-It, all of those other excellent brands. Now, I sort of the car we're in at the moment is Daryl's car. It's Daryl. He's our product manager at Dash Off-Road, and I kind of pressured him into taking his pacemaker system off his car, which he loved. And again, there's a purpose for every exhaust that we sell, and we've set it up on different volumes and sort of areas for that purpose. But now we put the Dash one on, I thought, who better to ask about the differences, because Daryl's been driving around the last few days in this car, to see what the differences are with these exhausts. So as we come into a corner, sorry Daryl, put you on the spot. Okay. Alright, so what's your comparison, not saying one's better or worse, but what's your comparison for Pacemaker with both mufflers compared to the Dash midsection?
Well, the Dash midsection would definitely be more throatier and a little bit quieter, and just up in the higher RPM it was definitely quieter than the Pacemaker one. But yeah, and it doesn't sound like you're racing everybody off the lights like the Pacemaker sometimes does. So yeah,
I'd echo that too. It doesn't seem as loud when you're at the top end of the rev range. but if you just want to give it a little burble at the lights, you can still hear it. So we've been driving around. I haven't actually picked up any sort of drone or anything.
No, definitely no drone. No.
These cars tend to, there's two droney spots I've noticed. One's about that sort of 1600 RPM, and another one, that's probably what we're on now.
Yep, just under about 12 and a half now.
And so I can hear it, but it's not like that boominess that what I relate to droning. And the other one is about that 1900, and I've had certain exhausts on my car where I've like just changed up a gear to get it out of that rev because it's been driving me nuts with the caravan on. But yeah, we've probably, I reckon we're sitting around 1.5 ton with this trailer. Perfectly acceptable for someone that was concerned about towing. Ooh, and that's a speed camera, by the way.
Okay, I'm only doing the speed limit.
Right, we're getting close to turning on the freeway. We can get up to 100, 110 to see if we can get it to drone at speed. Going around a roundabout. I'll try and be a little bit quiet for once, which will be hard for me, just so you can actually hear the exhaust. Very compliant. Never gets sort of raspy. Do a bit of an overtaking move. So that's 110 k's an hour. Went up to 4,000 RPMs. Now it's just cruising. At what revs you on now?
1750.
Yeah.
Just touch back up to 2.
Yeah, perfectly acceptable. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So, I guess last bits to this. If you got the midsection, for example, and liked it, but then your inner bogan was screaming out saying, I want more, you can sort of upgrade and get the tail section on its own, and then you'd have basically the dash cat back. And if you even wanted to go further than that, there's two things that you can do. One, which is available right now, is the dash cat delete pipes. So you've got 4 cats in these Y62s. The first, or primary cat, is monitored by airflow and air fuel ratio and O2 sensors. The secondary catalytic converter is not monitored, so you can take that out without affecting the engine or needing to delete the engine light or anything like that. Or there's the high flow cats, which will be coming out in the near future from Dash Off Road 2. Not available just yet, but as of March 2022, not there, but probably in about 2 months' time we'll have that available too. Alright, well this is the end of our midsection exhaust review. There'll be another video next week, probably finishing off the Emu wings, and we'll go from there. So hope you enjoyed it. See you next time on YouTube. Yeah.